Bilton has just won the match, so
the court. He went for the hoop but failed, and now gives Ben a fairly easy hoop 8 to bring the score back to 5-3. We've had some other interesting scores from other venues. Simon Carter has now beaten both the number 1 and 2 seed in his block. Ben runs hoop 8, score now 5-3. Game all. Omar's just waiting until we get 2 spectators wandering along the lawn, completely oblivious of the match taking place. Omar takes position at hoop number 9, a little bit angled, probably 45 degrees, hard to tell from here, but Ben's weighing up how difficult a shot it is. The hoops have not been difficult here. I understand that the ground is quite soft and therefore the hoops have been quite easy to run. Ben takes position at hoop number 9, a fairly good position. Omar, I imagine, will try and put another positional board in. She does. This time too long. So one was too short and one was too long. Ben has a real chance of bringing this game back to 5-4. He clears it, but not to the best position, because now blue actually has a hoop running position. But it may decide to take on red with a stop clearance. But probably knowing that he's an Egyptian, I imagine he'll take it on the hoop. He's wrong. He has cleared red. Blue is not in a hoop running position, but it's very close to the hoop. Ben takes a long positional shot nearly on the boundary. I imagine black will be looking to put a block shot in. He did put the block shot back in. Ben's seeing whether he's achieved it or not. It's hard to tell from here, but it looks pretty good. Again, Ben is, I think, probably going for another positional shot, which he is. Quite deep. And I imagine that Blue will be trying to achieve a double block for both the black and the hoop. From the way Ben's standing, it doesn't look like he's achieved that. But it must be quite close. What are Ben's options here? Possibly a jump, a clearance. You could try the jump to clear the black, or jump to actually make the hoop, and see what he decides to do. He's going for a jump, but I'm not sure whether it's hoop or ball. Yes, and it was hoop. Great jump, bringing the score back to 5-4. He's really come back into this game after being 5-2 down. Omar had a slightly hampered shot to get up to hoop 10. He's up near the hoop but in no hoop running position. Ben puts a deepish positional shot in, probably about 2.5 yards from the hoop. Omar goes for another positional shot. This time about this, just about 1.5 foot ahead of yellow. I have a very good assistant here, Gabrielle Higgins, who's trying to do some zooming into the hoops so we get a better idea of where the balls are actually placed. Ben, I imagine, is probably going to clear the blue, but I could be wrong. He could be taking on the hoop. No, he's going for a positional shot. Which I imagine he was trying to block it from black, but I would have thought that blue had already achieved that. Omar's options are not looking great here. Clearing red onto yellow looks about the best option, but probably one of the hardest shots in the game to achieve. He did it. Great shot. Really great clearance. He clears both yellow and red, and leaving himself in a good hoop running position. That was a really good shot. Ben will now take on the clearance of blue. Great clearance by Ben, but Omar still is first back into hoop number 10. Yellow has gone to the near boundary, so it makes clearing the blue ball much easier. Omar positions back to hoop 10, probably about a yard and a half back. Not sure if everyone's getting this commentary or not. If you are getting it, perhaps you could just send us a chat saying receiving us loud and clear. Ben's putting red ball back into position. It's a little bit deep and angled. I imagine he didn't want to block blue from being cleared by yellow. Omar again goes for positional shot. Imagine trying to block blue from yellow, but he hasn't achieved this. Ben will now be taking on another clearance. The spectators are building. We've got quite a few spectators today. As the weather has improved, we're probably about 22 degrees and a little bit of sun, a bit of cloud, but a really pleasant day. Again, good clearance by Ben. Perhaps blue didn't go as far as he had hoped, and yellow's come over by hoop 7. Omar will be clearing red, but again to the near boundary. He misses, which gives Ben a nice stop clearance on black. Ben took on the hoop. Not sure it was the right shot, but one has to make one's own choices. But I think a stop clearance on black would have been a better shot. But anyway, now it gives black a chance of making this 6-4. Yep, great hoop by Omar. He now takes a 6-4 lead. The match score is 1-all. Ben will be taking a positional shot with yellow to hoop 11. Good positional shot. Yes, very good positional shot by Omar. Ben has a choice here of actually clearing black down to near corner 4. Or he may go for putting 2 balls in, but that does give Omar a chance of a fairly near clearance. In fact, he's actually looking for a wide position, so cutting the ball over to the far boundary, wide from yellow. Not an easy shot to achieve. Let's see whether he achieves it. Looks pretty good, but again, the spot he had to hit on was quite small. Omar's asking Ben whether he can bring the ball slightly in. He's going to wipe his brow. The game is at a very tense time. If he clears this, he has a good chance of finishing off the match now. He misses yellow. This gives Ben a good chance of bringing the match back to 6-5.
I know the mindset is just out the ball.
I have a good experience of playing against Omar. I played against him in 2015 when he was leading 5-2 and I managed to come back and win 7-5, so I can imagine what Ben's feeling like. Ben runs hoop 11, take the score to 6-5. He has gone through about a third of the way towards hoop 12. Omar takes position at 12 and it's a beautiful shot, literally 2 or 3 inches from hoop 12. I'm not sure whether yellow is wired from the blue ball. I imagine he was trying to achieve that. I hope that zooming in and out is making the game more interesting to watch. Ben is going for a clearance on blue, he has a good chance of possibly getting an in off here. And he misses the ball completely and the hoop. Thanks, Kevin. Omar takes another position at 12, little long, little angled, but Ben is not an easy shot here. I don't know whether the hoop is open to him or not. I can't see from this angle. He is actually looks like he's going for a jump over the peg. Whether he's going to remove the.
We get this at 18 inches.
Okay.
You double check it's the right.
He also is entitled to take out the peg that holds the clips on top of the peg, which he's now done. He also wants the peg.
This is 36, and that's higher than 18.
He wants the peg put in so that it's the standard height from the ground. Here's what we call a Toby Savage, jumping over the peg and running 12, which he achieved in the 2015 Worlds in New Zealand.
I don't want to straighten it and then see which is on my hand. Take the side ball.
He's entitled to have the peg hammered down, but he cannot actually change the angle of the peg, as the balls would then be more open to him. So it's got to be exactly the same position that's in. See if I can zoom in on this a little bit for you.
You want to watch with me?
Oh yeah.
We'll make sure that they. Well, it's not me. They're pounding it.
Which one is it, Gabrielle? Oh, this one. So what about? Oh, I see. Okay, we have two referees have come out. Richard Brooks and an Australian referee, and they are now pounding it, checking the height peg to standard 18 inches, and Ben will now take on his jump shot. Oh, great shot! Oh. Wow, that was a fantastic shot. Really, really great shot. You know, brought the crowd alive. Absolutely fantastic shot.
It was 19 inches up.
Yeah.
He asked for it to take
It peaked out to 18. Yeah, we know.
to keep the angle the same.
So, exactly. I know. I just explained that to the those who's watching the streaming.
And you got one for jump.
Great jump. Great jump. So now 6-all, and I think Omar's approach to 13 is okay. I don't think it's too hampered. Great shot. Omar takes position at 13, and it's probably 2.5 yards from the hoop. slightly angled. Ben's going to check the position, weighing up the possibilities of Omar running this hoop. Both of Ben's balls are on the far boundary, so he has a long clearance and a long positional shot. With yellow, I'm not sure he can even see blue, but red is the first to play. Not. The thing he doesn't want to do is block blue from the hoop with his black ball. How many do you think we have now here, Gabriel? Probably. Yeah, probably over 50 spectators now. Omar takes a second positional shot at 13, and blue is still open to the hoop. Ben has a very long clearance, if you can see the ball. Ben shoots and hits the hoop. So it's looking a bit of the writing's on the wall, as they say. I think depending on whether Omar holds his nerve, the match should be over any moment. And he runs 13. Much applause from the spectators, and a really great match. Ben was unlucky after pulling off that wonderful shot at 12, but Omar held his nerve and takes the match 7-6 in the third. I'll swing the camera around, perhaps we'll have a look and see what else is happening. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're just going to stop streaming for a moment. We're just going to move the tripod into a more advantageous